We are at the workbench and I'm working on another display for the Boy Scouts. The first one I completed the other day was a static display of all the parts that go into the engine and the reverse unit to make it run. Now I'm putting together my working model of an engine, and so what I'm going to show you is the transformer is going through an amp meter. It's way over there, I apologize, but there is an amp meter and it's way over there. And I put it through a button, so if I push the button and the transformer's on at 50%, so it should operate at 50%, right? Oh, well, of course the reverse unit clicks. So now I'm operating at 50%, but what I've done with this model is I've put in some switches, tiny little switches here, that allow me to turn off and on the headlight and the smoke. So one thing we can look at is when I operate this gizmo, you can see the amperage draw is right about 1, which is not too bad. But now if I turn on the smoke switch and operate it again, you're going to see the amp draw is about 1 1/4. And you can verify that smoke's coming out because indeed smoke is coming out. Now, if I want to see the amp draw difference with the headlight on, I can push the headlight on and fire it up, and look at this, it's almost 1.2, it's like 1.45, and you can verify that we now have smoke and headlight on because the headlight is on. As I operate this thing, even if I can hold the button down and I didn't have the camera and I could run the switches, I can turn these things off and on individually while it's running, and it's more dramatic. So here what you'll see is, this is with the headlight only, and you can see the amp draws down about 1.2. So that's not too shabby with just the headlight. So what that tells you is the smoke unit is drawing a lot of current out of the motor. The good news is, in this particular design of the wiring loom, the smoke is pulling the current directly from the output of the transformer through the switches. It's not going through the motor. Some of the wiring I have seen shows the smoke power going through the engine here, which would mean you'd be sharing and getting less power to the smoke, less heat, less energy. Anyway, I thought this would be a good display, giving them the button and 2 switches to allow them to turn smoke on and off, operate the button and the meter all in one fell swoop to see what electricity does and how you go from electro to mechanical in various mechanisms, such as the reverse is an electromechanical, which I've tried to display up here, and then of course the motor is electromechanical, using the electric current to create magnetic fields and spin this around. I like to point out to the gang that this is an older non-Pullmore motor, and all I did was clean it up, and I have to tell you, it runs like a kitten. It is just amazingly smooth. And if I turn off the headlight and turn on the smoke, just that quick, it's a smoker. Yes, it is a smoker. And this is an engine that it was in the junk pile. In fact, it's multiple engines together. Smoke is from one engine, the chassis from another, and the E-unit and the motor housing and armature and fields are all from another. Obviously, this was from an old, probably a 302 that had the, it was probably my old Christmas engine, because this was the smoke on tender. I like it because it's a flat bottom, I can bolt it to my wood. This is the old pre-Pullmore motor, cleaned up, brushes are clean, springs are good shape, armature's clean, lubed, spaced properly so it's in the middle of the armatures, it's getting maximum power it can, and then this is the usual smoke unit that we have. So what I'm going to do now is wire this and mount these pieces up so they're a little more easy to get to, and the buttons will be down front and all that stuff, and I might screw the light down and stuff like that, and so then we can have this as a display that we can, all we have to do is hook it up to some posts to the any transformer with alligator clips. I think we should be fine. So that's the idea, that this is a unit that we can take around and show and teach a little bit of electricity as we show the engine. That's it. Okay, later, gang. Oh, one more. It's a smoker. That is so neat. And I like the idea we can turn the smoke off if anybody gets all fired up about it. Okay, gang, later.